So just a couple of questions today. How did you become a paraplegic?
It was a very simple fall off a ladder. Quick as a wink, nanosecond, and it's done.
Okay. What can't you do now that you could do before?
Well, I can't physically work in the business that I had and do what I was doing. However, you know, that changes and you become then more of a hands-off businessman. However, I did sell that business a year after the accident.
Okay. During the ordeal, like coming straight after the accident, how did you feel health professionals treated you, and all the way up to sort of the rehabilitation stage and even up until now?
Well, there's good and bad everywhere. Unfortunately, I seem to have got the bad. And patronising is a word that comes to mind. And there was an element of you'll do as you're told, and a lack of empathy, because I guess they see so many paraplegics, quadriplegics go through the system. Now, having said that, some health professionals are absolutely brilliant, and without them I don't know if I could have coped. There was a lot of tears, but never a tear over the fact that I was a para. It was I understand that some of the health professionals, the clinicians, one in particular, have been moved on because of their lack of connectedness and understanding and appreciation of each person that goes through that system. We are human beings, we're not objects. And you know, I could say a lot more, but look, things have changed quite a bit. But I still believe that there's a long way to go. Yeah. So my accident was 15 years ago. Some of the issues to do with paraplegia is pressure ulcers, bladder management, bowel issues. So you're constantly plagued with urinary tract infections, and pressure ulcers are a major concern. It was July 2009, I was admitted to hospital, and I was in hospital for 4 months with a pressure ulcer. And there was a need for plastic surgery, or the plastic surgeons at least perform a flap closure after a great big long process. And I was delighted to see huge progress in terms of clinician-patient relationship. However, I still think there's a long way to go. I can't emphasise it enough that the clinician and patient relationship is vital for not only just just to get on, but it's also, I feel it's the hospital's duty of care to look after the person's psychological needs as well. Should never ever be left in tears over an issue. And I've discovered quite a lot of the interesting aspects of being in hospital, and one of them is the food. And of course it's an old joke about hospital food, but I think it's more serious than just the joke. There's food additives that is actually hindering clients, patients, but that's another subject in itself.
Okay. Okay. What advice would you give Colin to make it through to sort of where you've become fully rehabilitated, and through his elder years?
Yeah, interesting question, and it depends on Colin and how he can manage it. He's got to manage that. He's got his process and grieving process to go through. I didn't particularly have much grieving because I didn't have time. I had a business to run. I had there were site meetings around my bed, as many as 12 building professionals discussing how we're going to manage this project, several projects. And but anyway, Colin, if he can focus on the future in terms of what he can do and not what he can't do. And the world is huge. It's only Colin that's going to stop him. There's so many things. But education is vitally important to anybody, not just Colin. But I think focusing on that, focusing on what he can do as an individual in the community, whether it be joining boards of health, community health services, and finding out what process and what he can actually contribute to the community, as well as what he can get out of the community, is I think, not just therapy for him, but it's reaching out as well as taking the focus off self. And so I spent 10 years as a board member on our community health service. I'm involved in Rotary, involved in life education. I was the chair of the Knox committee, involved in a local private school on the school council, and I was able to contribute to all those organisations. Yeah. And of course I'm still a Rotarian and have great joy and vow to help children, help international projects, building wells. Even though I'm not physically doing it, I still have a hand in it in terms of papers and processes that we must go through.
Well, that just about wraps it up. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.